This must just be a PR campaign, surely. Surely PETA, the campaign group, can't actually be bothered about a pub's name. Talk about sweating the small stuff.
Well, I mean, the bottom line here is that bulldogs are being born to suffer because they've been deliberately bred to have exaggerated features like unnaturally flat faces and shortened airwaves. And we know that these dogs can barely breathe without gasping for air, let alone walk or chase a ball like every dog should be able to do. So, this is about people being influenced by what they see on social media and about what they see maybe at their local pub. And, when it comes to dogs, there's been a surge of interest in flat-faced breeds, largely due to their popularity on social media, and they're suffering because of it. So, yeah, we're asking the pub to change its name to highlight these issues that these dogs suffer from. And, they're incredibly unwell dogs, so we shouldn't be promoting and glamorising, these breeds.
Kate, I completely agree with you on what you say about the health of these dogs, and I think people would actually be shocked if they saw what a bulldog looked like, say, in the 1920s and what a bulldog looks like today. I mean, the difference is astonishing. I'm just not quite convinced of your tactic, though, in terms of, are people really going to see the sign on a pub? And is it going to therefore then trigger a conversation about the overbreeding of these dogs? Is it not better to use your time and your money to target the breeders that are selling the dogs for this ridiculous money, not the pubs that have got these names?
Yeah, I mean, we have many tactics to end, dog breeding and to encourage people to adopt and not shop. But, we know that the pub recently rebranded from the Sea Lion, and we thought maybe they might be opening to switching it up again if it meant helping animals. And we offered to contribute some money to the costs of the new sign and so on, so that this, small business wouldn't be out of pocket. But this has, of course, started a huge conversation over, bulldogs and how cruel it is to breed them for these features that cause them to suffer for their whole lives.
Absolutely.
You're totally right when you look at them, 20 even years ago, they're so different and they suffer so much.
And it is a great talking point, absolutely. But if we take this to its logical conclusion, are you therefore going to write to every owner or licensee at a pub called the Greyhound? There's going to be many of those in the UK. Greyhounds are associated with greyhound racing, which many people say is cruel.
Don't give them ideas.
Will you contact every licensee of the Greyhound pub?
Well, I mean, if it gets people talking, which, it inevitably does, this is, a case in point, then yeah, that is something that we might do. But, it's not just PETA talking about the health issues of bulldogs and other flat-faced breeds. The Royal Veterinary College is also urging people to think twice before ever getting a bulldog or other flat-faced breeds. And, we know that they're twice as likely as other dogs to suffer from serious health conditions. They can't even give birth naturally because the puppies' heads are now so massive that they all,
Kate, that is terrible, and it is interesting to know more about that. Pip was educating me on this issue earlier in the break, because I don't know anything about dog breeds. But most people reading this story are going to think it's absolutely ludicrous to get involved with the minutiae of how people name their pubs. Also, I fear you're actually erasing the identity of the bulldog by trying to rid the breed entirely from, our public houses. They exist, and therefore they're getting representation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think most people might see this story and think, actually, I didn't know, just like you didn't know, that these dogs suffer so much when they're bred for vanity, essentially, for human vanity. So we hope that it does promote lots of people to think twice about buying these dogs. And yeah, to your point, we don't think that these bulldogs are a good representation of Britain anymore.
But Kate, are PETA calling for the extinction of this breed of dog?
We're calling for the end of breeding dogs, full stop. But these bull breeds, they suffer more than most because of the exaggerated features that people want them to have. So we're calling for this pub to change its name to the Old Mutt, and we encourage everybody to adopt mutts because they are the healthiest dogs, and we have an overpopulation crisis with with dogs in shelters. Thousands are given up every year. Thousands of them who are these flat-faced dogs because they're so expensive to look after.
Kate, when you go to the pub, do you not go to certain pubs if you don't like the name on the sign, if it is called the bulldog, or if it's called the greyhound or the horse and jockey?
Well, I think it would be impossible to avoid all of those pubs because there are so many of them.
OK, so you do go in them yourself. You want pubs to change their names, but you do go in them yourself.
Well, I mean, I don't go to the pub very often, but, I don't think that's really the issue. I think the issue here is
the issue, because you're saying to us that the licensees should change the name. But anyway, we've got to leave it there. Really, really appreciate you coming on GB News to talk about this. It was really interesting. So thank you.
And I must say, I do like the name The Old Mutt.